Comparing my preliminary task with my main task, I can see a large amount of improvement throughout. I believe that my preliminary task was not very good due to the lack of research into what I was doing. Not looking at any magazines before making it was one of a few reasons as to why it wasn't very good. Another was the lack of target audience interviews that I did. Asking my target audience would have helped me see what they wanted, helping me to improve my magazine. Comparing the two front pages, you can see the large amount of improvement I have made. Let's first look at the pictures. As you can see, my preliminary photo isn't the best. This is because the main image does not make eye contact with the reader, which does not draw the reader's attention. The photo is also a medium long shot, as the majority of the person's body is involved. The photo is also poorly lit and has a lot of shadowing. Compare this to the image of my main task, you can see what I've learnt. This picture makes direct eye contact, is a mid shot and is well lit. With the masthead, you can see the large difference between the two. For my preliminary, the masthead is small and at the very top of the magazine, not drawing any attention to it. It is also a poor choice of font as there is no clear house style. This is different to my main task, as I have placed the masthead on the left of the page, right next to the artist. This way the reader knows clearly where the masthead is and can see it very well. The font choice is also a lot better for my masthead on the main task, as it is easily readable and matches and fits well with the house style. On my preliminary, the cover lines are poorly placed. You are unsure of which is the main cover line as they are all the same size. There is also no clear house style with fonts and colours, as they are all different and the colours are the same. The main cover line is placed at the bottom of my preliminary and is very hard to read due to the poor choice of colour. Spacing was also an issue as there was a lot of empty space left. This means that the front page looks bare and is not appealing. Comparing this with my main task, you can see there's been a complete change of all of this. The cover lines are different sizes, so you can clearly see which the main cover line is. The cover lines are also in different fonts, but you can see an obvious house style due to the colours used. The main cover line is placed just underneath the masthead and is in line with the artist's face, meaning that the reader will be drawn to look in that position. The main cover line is also a lot larger than the others, so the reader knows the importance of it. Although there is still some empty space on my main task, the use of other cover lines as well as the picture fills this well, making it look less empty. On my preliminary task, I've used barely any page furniture. The only real page furniture is that there is a school badge in the top right of the page. This makes my magazine seem empty and plain, leaving it with a very unprofessional look. Contrasting this to my main task, you can see the large amount of page furniture I have used. I have included a banner at the top to add to colour and to make the front cover seem more professional. I have also added two Polaroid style pictures at the top of the magazine, as this creates more focal points, filling out the page more. I have also added a background behind some of the main cover lines to add more colour and to make it seem more professional. Finally, I have added two small white rectangles on the bottom two cover lines. Whilst this is small, it anchors the cover lines and adds some more professionalism, as I have seen this done in other magazines. Comparing my two contents pages, there is an obvious large improvement. Firstly, looking at the layout, there are some obvious differences. For my preliminary task, the three columns are also the same size. They are also full of information, not looking very professional. The column dividers are also visible, which no music magazines do. The two pictures are also very clear and not the focus. These images are also very small. Comparing this to my final magazine, the difference is very visible. There are still three columns, but they are not the same sizes. Instead, they are sized differently, with the middle column being the largest. This puts the focus on the middle column, as it is the one featuring my main artist. They are also not full of information, instead give short previews as to what is featured in the article. This is what real music magazines do, making mine have a more professional look. Talking about house styles, there is not a very visible house style in my preliminary task, as the fonts and colours are all different. This shows a lack of professionalism, and therefore making the magazine seem rushed and unfinished. To improve this and make the house style seem more obvious, you need to make sure all the fonts match and all the colours are the same. With my main task, there is a visible house style across the front and contents page. The same colours are used, the same fonts are used, and my artist features across both pages. This adds to professionalism and makes the magazine seem more complete, and it makes it look right together. Cover lines from the front of the magazine also feature in the contents page, tying the two pages together.